Good morning, folks. Ryan here with Start House Ski and Bike Shop, Truckee, California. Today we're going to be doing some heater installs. Great option for folks that have cold feet based on circulation issues, cold boots, number of reasons. Always nice to add heat to your boots. We're going to be using the Therm-ic heated insole kit, the CPAC 1300. They make this in a Bluetooth and non-Bluetooth version. They both work to achieve the same thing, keeping those digits warm. The Bluetooth version has some nicer features as far as being able to control heat. One nice thing about the Bluetooth one is that when you're moving, it kicks down the heat, and then when you're stationary, standing on the lift lines, it ramps it up. Keep those toes nice and warm. Here we go. All right, so you open the kit, you got yourself some batteries, get yourself a charging cable, nice little USB charging cable so you can charge it at home, charge it in your car. I don't know, 3 hours to charge these things. They say you can get up to 13 hours of runtime. That's kind of on the lower settings. All right. In the parts kit, you get some cover tape. You'll see that come into use later. Some top sheet material. This is used to cover the heating elements once they're put onto the insole. And then these are the element kits. Super nice, low profile, very thin. And this little guy, when it's put on the footbed, it sits right underneath where the toes sit and provides a good level of warmth. All right, today we're going to be installing these in a Nordic Pro machine. Looks like we've got an aftermarket zip fit liner that adds a little complexity to the install, but for the most part, these guys can get installed in any sort of ski boot application. What I really like about these heated insoles versus the heated socks is that once you buy this kit, you could then just buy spare elements. So if you've got, say, a second pair of ski boots, like a touring boot, any sort of other footwear where heat would be beneficial, you can just buy some additional elements. They're 30-ish bucks per set, and you could just use your batteries from one set to the next. Today we're putting heat inside the zip fit, the Gara LV. So what we want to do first is pull out the insole. So at a minimum, you want an aftermarket footbed. Today we're going to be installing it on this Cetus winter drop-in footbed. Great option for a starter footbed inside your ski boot. So the way it works is that this guy is going to get attached to here. We'll do some hiding of this element underneath the footbed as far as the line goes, and then route it on the outside of the liner. When we're sizing these up, try to keep them as far forward underneath the toes as possible. Just tracing an outline of where I'm going to cut through the footbed to route the cable. And we want to route this at an angle so it actually comes out in this void underneath the arch. Always use a sharp blade so that way when you cut yourself, it's clean and deep, sterile. So we're just excavating a little window there. Get this guy lined up. Just peel off the adhesive backing and stick that guy down. What I like to do is for the piece that I've removed, remove the top sheet from this little sliver. I'm going to scap this back in here just to give it more of a smooth transition. Now you're not going to really feel this if it's done cleanly underfoot. It's nice that includes these top sheet materials. That way, when you put this on there and your foot's sliding in and out, it's smooth, you don't catch the element, and it gives it a nice finished look. Put some tension on this top sheet material when you're dropping it down. That'll ensure that it goes on clean and tight. It takes a little working to make sure you can get out any sort of bubbles. But just smooth it down. It's really around the heel cup where it gets a little interesting. So pulling it and stretching it and manipulating it to get it into place without bubbles takes a little time. That's what it looks like, front and back. What I like to do, invert the footbed, push down on it just to give it a little pressure, and then using that nice sharp blade, just run it around the contour of the footbed. Have it. Takes just a little bit of finish work to get this perimeter cleaned up. So there you have it, one heat-ready footbed. On the back side of this guy, I like to just cut off a small piece of this included top sheet material. Put a little small square on the back of the pass-through hole underneath. Then we're going to repeat the same thing with the other footbed. This little guy. Okay, so as before, peel off the backing, tuck that little buddy in there, get it up towards the toes as such. And that little fella tucks right in place. The old top sheet. And this guy, you just want to kind of get centered. I like to match up this little logo with that little logo. I'm going to Again, pulling tight, dropping it on there down the center line, and then working your way outward. I like to start at the forefoot, from the middle outward, get it nice and push down, and then I work my way back. I have to peel that up and then just go from center to the outside, massaging it into place. It's like, you know, nice deep thumb engagement of that top sheet, like Kobe beef. Just really marbleize that top sheet into the old footbed. Then you come around, cut through that. Sometimes using scissors is a nice little way to make it look like a polished end product after you do those first passes with the utility knife. So there we have it, number 2, heat ready footbed. We'll finish up again by just throwing a piece of this top sheet material onto the base of the footbed. And just a small strip. You don't want to fill this underneath your toes, so you don't need to go with multiple layers or anything. There you have it. This will come up right underneath the arch and through the medial side of the ski boot liner. Okay. All right, so next step is going to be getting this guy into this guy. So for this is the medial or inside of the ski boot liner. This is the right liner, the right insole. So because this is a zip fit liner and there's cork inside this pocket here, we need to avoid cutting into this area. So we're gonna have to come a little bit forward of that, avoiding the stitching as well, and going into this neoprene zone of the ski boot liner. So we don't need a huge hole. This is all pretty stretchy fabric. We're gonna just get that blade in there. I've got my hand on the inside just to provide a little resistance to cut against. And that's all we need, that little hole right there. The tricky part for this is feeding everything in here and making sure that the wiring isn't bunched up or twisted, because you can feel those irregularities if they're not assembled correctly. So once we route that through there, I slowly feed the footbed in, pulling the wire out as I snake that down into the base of the liner. And just using your hands, you can fill in here, make sure that there's no twisting of that heating element wire. Now we want this is the right liner, right ski boot. This is looking at it from behind. So we're gonna route this in a way where this element comes up to clip to the battery on the outside of the ski boot. One nice way to do that is to route it underneath the power strap. But also what's included, in addition to this top sheet material, they include these little top sheet strips. And this is a nice way to just anchor it into place on the back side of the liner. There's some okay adhesive underneath this material, but throwing a little heat to it with a heat gun is also another way, just to ensure that we've got a nice bond between that cover and the boot liner. And it sticks pretty well to the leather. But when it comes to this neoprene, it takes a little massaging to really get it to adhere. Okay, so I just threw a little heat at this with the heat gun. For a lot of these zip fit liners, skiers are putting the liner on their foot before sliding the liner into the shell. In those instances, this tape can catch on the leading edge and peel back. So what I like to do is try to cut a clean line and another option to ensure that this doesn't peel back is just to use a little glue. We use a rubber cement. We use a contact cement that's pretty strong, pretty sticky. We'll see how this goes without it. So now that you've got your heater element installed on the footbed put into the liner, some finishing tape put on the element wiring, and once that's routed properly, you can slide the shell into the liner. Okay, so there you have it. We're almost through this installation. So once your battery's fully charged, you're going to clip it on the top Velcro strap, booster strap, whatever strap you've got. Just slides on there. I like to get this guy centered right over the outside. You don't want it too far in the back because then when the chairlift comes behind you, it can clip you right in the battery pack. So get this guy installed there. That's essentially what we're going to want for finished product, finished look. So clip that on. And I like to just shorten this up so it's not flapping around. Alright, so use a little zip tie, clean this fella up. Wire management. And there you go. That's your finished product. Get your battery off the charger, slide her onto the power strap, we'll lock her in place, plug her in. So there you have it, folks. Therm-ic heater installation done here at our shop, or you can just buy the kits and do these at home, referencing this video for some tips on making the installation process as easy as possible. Catch you guys on the next one.